I have a love and hate relation with Skypiea arc of One Piece, more like a mixed opinion. For me, Skypiea or Sky Island arc was one of the most boring One Piece arcs at some point, and I will tell you why. I believe it has issues on a few levels, especially pacing and the antagonist. Within the anime community and One Piece fans, there are a major chunk of audience who consider this arc to be underrated and one of the most engaging arcs of One Piece, while on the other hand, there are people like me who complain about its pacing and other underwhelming aspects. Initially, the arc was not much underwhelming. It was kind of engaging for a while, like the Straw Hats arriving at Jaya, meeting Mont Blanc Cricket, and the story of Noland the Liar regarding Sky Island was good. And when the Straw Hats arrive at Angel Island using the knock-up stream, we get introduced to the world of Skypiea, located high above the blue sea, which includes Angel Island, Upper Yard, and various cloud seas. The overall setup of the arc, like disappearance of Jaya Island and the Nolan being termed as liar in history, conflict between the two communities of Skypiea, the Shandians and the Skypians, and the concept of dials, all of this was interesting. This arc explored themes like fate, inequality, history, and colonialism. So if everything was interesting and good, what might be the problem with this arc? And that lies in areas like pacing, weak antagonist, and other underwhelming aspects. Shandians wage war against Enel and Skypians to reclaim their ancestral homeland, and Enel initiates a survival game, a battle between his priests, Skypians, Shandians, and the Straw Hats, claiming only 5 will survive after 3 hours. This might sound interesting on paper. It was great in manga as well, but in the anime version, this part drags really hard. For most of the time, the fight feels repetitive, while Luffy being stuck inside a giant snake almost till the end of the arc. The idea of Shandians revolting to reclaim their homeland and their lost history, this could have been presented in a great way, especially during the survival game. But the characters kept getting knocked around with little or no progress, and it felt like we were watching the same fight in a jungle over and over. That was not exactly thrilling to make you sit and finish the arc with the same energy as you did with the previous arcs. The most underwhelming aspect was the antagonist Enel. Enel was kind of somewhat okay at the beginning, but as the story progresses, his actions and ideology was not as intriguing as much as previous arcs antagonists like Arlong or Crocodile. In terms of power and capability, he was strong enough to be challenged, but his motives and ideologies were never satisfying enough to drive their interest. Except for these reasons, the overall world building, themes, and the payoff does work. Luffy ringing the golden bell is one of the most satisfying moments in the series. For most people, the pacing and other issues do not really matter, and that is the reason why most fans consider Skypiea to be underrated. Apart from the fact of being underrated or being associated with other issues, Skypiea is one of the most important arcs of One Piece. Not for its beautiful world building or the payoffs, but it is even more than that. Most people refer to Skypiea as a metaphor to the One Piece itself. Skypiea lays the groundwork for future of world's history, power systems in the anime. Skypiea arc is important because it expands the world of One Piece beyond the oceans and islands. This arc features the ruins of Shendora, a kingdom with poneglyph, which is a key element in understanding the world's history and the existence of ancient weapons. It reveals information about the ancestors of Skypians, Shandia, and Burkans, who once lived on the moon and eventually came to the planet. The most important foreshadowing is that the arc references a sun god, which some fans speculate is a foreshadowing of the character Nika, later revealed to be a key figure in the series. In conclusion, the Skypiea arc in general is a really great and important arc of One Piece, providing more in-depth information and the foreshadowing of the One Piece world. Though it might have a few minor issues like pacing, it sets the stage for major plot points that will be crucial for understanding the full scope of One Piece's narrative.